also known as the worst apple to ever be genetically created. I tried it for the first time and was like, ugh, ew, whoa, what the f.
This video is How to Make Life More Interesting by Jaiden Animations. This is an old video. It's like from 2018. I would like to know her thoughts on how to make life more interesting. Not to say that I don't have interesting things happen in my life, but I'm interested. I'm interested in how you would say that to make things more interesting. You know, I'd like your take, like your opinion. Link for her video, if you're checking this out on YouTube, is in the description box below. Also check out our Twitch, because we be having fun, we be popping, you know, with the Chris Brown, all of that. Not that we're hanging out with Chris Brown, but Chris Brown, if you'd like to hang out, let me know. I am married, so it'd have to be like, you know, above board hanging out, but we out here. Yeah, let's get into the video. Ty said we get traumatized every night. Not every Twitch night.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2018, Jaiden. What's different?
That's cute.
Nothing yet, I don't think. If you're like me and don't plan on doing anything extraordinary this year, but still want to spice things up, I have a few suggestions. You know me, living life on the edge. I'm exciting. I'm adventurous. Of course, the best way to make life more interesting is to induce a variable of surprise and the unknown. In 2017, I conducted my own apple research. I just ate a bunch of apples. Here we go. I just got really curious one day. There's so many different types of apples, and I don't know jack rabbit about any of them. Did you know there's...
How many varieties? There's 7,500 varieties of apples?
Did you know there's 7,500 different varieties of apples? 200 in the U.S.? Because that was the first time I actually Googled it. I didn't eat 7,500 apples last year, but every week when I went to the grocery store, I'd get a different type of apple I hadn't had before. So I'd be learning about a new apple every week. It sounds stupid, but shut up. I learned a lot about apples. You're such a vegan. So growing up...
Such a weird thing to do, because I think she is vegan, right? That's such a very unique thing to do. Like, oh, let me just do my own apple research. But also... like there's 7,500 varieties of apples, and that was back when she checked in 2018. Let me check right now how many variety of apples there are now. Apple varieties. Oh, it's still the same. It's still the same 7,500. So it hasn't. Yeah, it's still the same. It hasn't gotten as of February, I think, 2020. Yeah. Okay, it's the same. We're safe, guys. You love apples, but you love oranges better. It depends on the mood I'm in. Depends on the mood.
Mom always got us either Fuji or Gala apples, which are some of the most common apples in the U.S. This is all just my own opinion and research, by the way. If you have a different opinion, good for you. Gala is pretty much the standard average apple. Nothing bad, but nothing fantastic. Fuji are a bit brighter in flavor and crisper, but they're both good standard apples to make a constant variable.
They're standard.
See, I learned something in 7th grade
Honeycrisp
science.
is sweeter.
Now, yes, this is happening.
With a kick of tart.
Golden Delicious are softer and less sweet than Fuji and have more of an applesauce taste. I'm aware of the irony in that description. Prips Pink or Pink Lady apples are firmer than Fuji, but more tart. I don't like Red Delicious.
What is hilarious is how this was titled. Jamaican apples are so good. It was titled How to Make Life More Interesting, and we've tumbled into an apple. An apple directory. An apple directory. You know, we're getting our education right now, I guess. The way that we just walked into this, and this is where we are now. We're just learning about apples. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
They have a thick skin and mediocre flavor, and if you get a bad one, they're super gross and spongy. Everyone knows Granny Smith. She's green and tart. Sugar beets are a lot crisper than Fuji, and like the name suggests, super sweet. A top-tier apple. Envy tastes pretty much like sugar bee. Call me apple racist.
I've never heard
apples
it.
were disappointment, mainly because I thought the name was cool and the grocery store had a fun little name tag for them. They didn't taste all that.
What are jazz apples?
Great. Ruby Frosts.
Okay. No,
wait, I'll go faster. Have thick skin and are kind of sour, but not as much as Granny Smith. Pacific Rose are my favorite and the best apple. If anyone tries to tell you there's a better apple, they're probably right because they only tried like 15 out of the 7,500 varieties, which is like 0.2%. But these are the ones I buy all the time now. Honey Crisp apples are crisp. Nah, they're good, but they're more expensive. Peru apples are really crunchy and taste like a weak gala. Rockets are super small and have a unique aftertaste. Macintosh are surprisingly super soft and sweet and taste nothing like a computer. Brayburn, also known as the worst apple to ever be genetically created. I tried it for the first time and was ugh, ew, whoa, what the freak? Like, it's trying to be sweet, but also tart at the same time, and it's like, just pick one, you're just a dumb apple. Apparently, they were created by accident and are a hybrid of Granny Smith and Lady Hamilton. So they're not even supposed to exist. Jeez, Granny Smith, use protection. But, I mean, to give them credit, that's pretty
If Granny want to get around, let Granny get around.
Apparently, Brayburn is also a My Little Pony character.
Brayburn? Okay.
Anyway, avoid at all costs. I hope all the Brayburn trees burn in a giant fire and rebirth into Pacific Rose ones. So now you're an apple master.
So Pacific Rose is the one she really likes. Honey Crisp is good, but the Ambrosia apples are really, really good. I call them Amber Rose apples. That's just my funny takes. Hey, Lizzie.
Me. Apple Research gave me something to look forward to each week and isn't very expensive since they're apples. I'm also currently running a similar experiment on mint gum flavors. If apples aren't good enough for you, then try doing something you normally wouldn't do. But not because you're a new and improved person, just to try and get a good story out of it. If you start trying to induce good stories, eventually, you'll get one. When I was still in college, I had to take a service learning class where we had to earn 75 hours of service from some sort of internship without being paid. The one I chose, completely on my own, not because it was the closest to campus and I didn't have a car, was working as a teacher's aide at a children's Montessori. Don't know what a Montessori is? Me neither when I took the internship. It's a children's school where the teachers focus more on letting the kids learn things on their own more naturally than traditional teaching methods in elementary schools.
Okay.
Wait, Jaiden, this sounds interesting. Can you explain a bit more? Nope, I'm moving on. So the main reason I chose the Montessori, not including the location, was because kids are funny. And there would be some great stories to come from babysitting a classroom of kindergarten to third graders 6 hours a week for a whole semester. I applied to the Montessori and scheduled an interview. I've never had a real job before, so I was super nervous and didn't know what to expect. The head teacher, Miss Frizzy, which isn't her real name, greeted me. Actually, no, first, I didn't know where the front door was. Like, I went up to the door that I thought was the entrance, but it was locked, so I called the number they gave me, and they said just go through the gate, and I didn't know where the gate was, but it ended up being around the side of the building, and the gates were all closed, so I thought I'd have...
So that's for protection reasons, like, which I'm glad that they actually do this. They don't have the front door just open and easy for you to just access and just walk through, which at least I would know my kid is protected, so that's good. You love and hate kids. That's such a real... Do you have kids? It sounds like you got kids. That sentence right there.
Have to hop the fence to get into the school, but it would look super sketchy to see a college student hopping a gate to force their way into a children's Montessori.
Yeah, don't do it. But I figured
it out. So I met Miss Frizzy, but not in our own room. It was in the middle of the kids' class time when they were all running around with books and puzzles. She was like, hey there, nice to meet ya, and pulled out a kid's chair because they didn't have anything else. I sat down and my knees crunched up to my chin. It was a lot more casual than I thought it was going to be. And probably should have been. There was one part where she was like, do you have first aid training? You legally need to have that if you want to work with children. And I will not confirm nor deny the possible first aid training in question.
She did not.
Yeah, we might have brushed over that one. Anyway, I got the internship, arrived the first day, and no one told me what to do. I was like, hi, how can I help? And also, how does everything work? Because I know nothing. Oh, yeah, just help the kids if they need help.
I hate such vague answers.
Okay, then. For the majority of the internship, I was stressed out and anxious because for 3 hours every time I went in, I felt like I had no purpose except walk around and smile at kids. Occasionally, I'd help one find a puzzle piece, but those were the exciting days. Also, 2 kids didn't even speak English. Like, what am I supposed to do when a kid's crying? I ask what's wrong, and I get... 私の恐竜に噛まれて痛いよ。ほら血が出てる。てかどうして私の言ってることわかんないのよ。日本人でしょ? For an hour, the kids would have lunch and then go outside to play. And that was more manageable because I just had to make sure none of them backflipped off swings or something dumb. I could also pass the time and prevent insanity by sweeping sand off the pavement. My favorite memory by far when I was there was when a kid got stuck in a bucket. We just hear, help! To help! And look over to a kid, upside down turtle with his butt in a pail.
Oh my gosh.
Pathetic. So what can you take away from this video?
Poor little kid.
Rayburn apples were an accidental hybrid love child of two apples, and kids are incompetent at life. See, with a few little tweaks, it isn't hard.
The roasting of the poor kids. The poor babies. Kids are hilarious. I will say that. Kids are hilarious. So I will say my daughter, since we're on the subject of kids, the past week she was at my mom's house. So like when I went down to Miami that same day, my mom came out and picked up my daughter, and my daughter was staying with her for like a week. And my mom lives like 2.5 hours away from where I live, right? And I remember while I was in Miami, I was calling, and I called every day, FaceTimed every day. I don't think not a day passed without me FaceTiming at least to talk to her or see her, to at least say hi. Once, sometimes twice a day. It was mostly twice a day. But I remember calling her on the first day, okay? Not like it was a few days in, on the first day. I called her in the morning and then I called in the evening. When I called in the evening, my daughter said, "Oh, you again?" That's what she said to me. She said, "Oh, you again?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me. And I'm going to call every day. And you going to say hi to me." Little booty butt. And then I remember she was on vacation from you. Must have been. The last day though, because by the last couple of days, she was ready to come back home, right? And the last day when I called, she was like, "Mommy, what are you doing? Looking so cute. Look at you. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Thank you, baby. You're so cute. What do you need? What do you need? How you doing? How you doing?" She was so sweet. She's like a Sour Patch Kid. She's like super sweet, and then when she's sour, oh boy, is she sour. Okay, but she could be super sweet. You wouldn't have called no more? No, I called twice a day, except for one of the days. I think I called just once. And that was because she was like crying. She wanted to come home. And so I didn't want to call again to reignite those feelings after getting her calm, Very much Sour Patch Kids. Very much. She said, "On vacation for a reason." Yes, she was, boo. She said, "You don't got patience for the kids? You be gone." Nah, when you see them, you're cute. They get you. The first time you called, sis was hanging with grandma and you was interrupting. That's true. She was like, "You again?" I was like, "Oh, I still love you." So you can still love me too. But yeah, kids are funny.
Hard to spice up your life. Now go out and get yourself a funny story. Also, one day at the Montessori, a kid pooped on the sidewalk.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's kids are nasty. They're sweet. They can be sweet. They can be very sour, but they can also be very nasty. That right there is nasty. What a way to end the video. Like, well, one day the kid pooped on the sidewalk. That's something. Call his mama to come get him for sure. That's one thing. The thing, like the way that kids, I feel like I seem like I'm extremely germophobic when it comes to kids, and my daughter especially, because the way that they don't really perceive germs and dirt and dirtiness, So like, I remember she went to go use the toilet, and I normally have like a cloth cover on the lid, but like my husband was washing it. So when she went to go lift up the toilet lid, she also lifted up the seat, and I freaked out. I was like, she touched under the seat. Like, that's like freaking out. Wash your hands. I'm just like, they don't perceive dirt like we do. I remember one time I was playing with a kid. He was like 4, and we were playing Truth or Dare, and he chose Dare. And I was like, "I dare you to hug your parents when you see them again." He replied, He replied, my dad's dead. Oh no. Oh no. They're so like forward, aren't they? I got a question. How did this make life more interesting? Well, interesting fact is that there are 7,500 different apple varieties, which why are there so many apple varieties? And when she said that one was accidentally created, I think that's actually plausible. Weather could be a thing, like where one it could be a bird pollinated, took from one and went to the other, type of thing. Crossbreeding on accident. It could have been anything. A lot of things. I chose to tell him to hug his mom then. Yeah, what else are you gonna do? There are GMOs. That's very true. That is true. The genetically modified ones that are there. Yeah, that's true. But man, this was funny. It was funny how, like, I thought this was I thought she was gonna give a list of different things you could do to make life interesting. It's just hilarious how he walked into like an Apple directory and then a kid's story, but it was fun to go through, and it did, make me think of the funny things that my daughter does, because she's hilarious. I'll tell you that. Kids are freaking hilarious. She makes me laugh every day. She makes me frustrated almost every day, but she does also make me laugh every day. So she does the thing. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. A, was this video what you thought it was gonna be? B, did you know that there were so many apples? And if so, what is your favorite apple? Let me know what kind of apple is your favorite. Mine is ambrosia or Honeycrisp. What about you? And then, do you have any funny stories involving working with kids or being with kids or taking care of kids or looking after kids, or you're a family? You've got a younger sibling or a cousin that be doing funny things as a kid. Let me know down below. And yeah, on to the next video.